So when I work with founders who say that they actually want to build a data product or some product that's powered by data, one of the things that I ask them is it repeatable? Now in this video, I'm going to talk about what I mean by is it repeatable, because if you're going to build a data product, it's got to be a SaaS product, okay? It's got to be as a service, something that you can hands off and scale. Now what happens is typically founders who want to create a data product will say, look, I've got this really good idea. If we can connect to these data sources, I can create something that's either a dashboard, a model, that can be repeated, and then what I can do is just go and sell it to loads and loads of clients, and I can scale the business really well because I build once and then I just sell it to lots of clients, and all I have to do is connect to their data sets. Now in theory that's a really good idea, okay, but in reality you've really got to ask yourself, how repeatable is this? Because if it's not repeatable, okay, then it's not scalable. Now what I mean by this is, for example, let's say you're going to build a predictive model to predict sales from someone's transactional system, so they're from their POS system. So you say, look, I'm going to go in, I'm going to plug into people's POS system, I'm going to run this algorithm because I know that the POS system collects data like this, and I'm going to be able to then create a forecasting model for sales so that a business can know every day how many sales they're going to get the next day. Again, like I said, in theory that sounds really good because you'd hope that the POS collects data in a structured way, but then you go out and you start talking to companies, and you find that they have different POS providers, POS being point of sale providers, which collect transactional data, and then you find that actually even the same POS system may have data in different formats, or you may find that they create custom columns in the POS system, and they're not using the data schema that the POS system provides. So you find lots of different complexities and nuances in the data that you realize that actually for every client I have to sort of manually do something. Now if you have to manually do something, then it's not repeatable, okay, and therefore it won't be scalable, because if you have one client and you do one thing manually, that's one client, one thing manually. You have two, do two things manually, three things manually, and eventually just becomes linear, okay? You have to put more effort in for more clients, and that is not a repeatable or scalable product. What you need to do is understand what is the most common data structure that these POS systems provide, be able to plug into those POS systems, understand all of them, be able to anticipate how the data might look, and then be able to automate the analysis. So all you're doing is literally going, take my product, connect it to your point of sale system, and run the forecasting or the predictive sales tool, and that's it. If you're having to manually do something because there are nuances or there are differences in the system, then it's not really scalable. Now it depends, again, if they're very small things that you have to do manually, then you might get away with it. What you might find is that if you hire some kind of data engineer or a data scientist, they can work across 10, 20, 30 clients, and that's fine. So you could scale to some extent, but ideally what you wanted to be able to do is just plug into these systems, understand how they store the data, understand how the business or your customer, your client uses that data, and then be able to provide your service on top of it. Now, like I said, if there's too much manual intervention going on at each instance, and then you start responding to manual queries, okay, or ad hoc queries, then you become a service business, okay? You may be partly product, but you end up being part service. And the problem with being a service business is that service businesses aren't scalable without scaling the team. So unless you're equipped to hire a bit larger and larger team, then what you'll find is that you can't meet the demands of more and more clients. Now there's nothing wrong with being part product, part service, as long as you know that you need to scale your team. And a lot of SaaS solutions, you'll find that they provide consulting services on top of their product, because they realize that a lot of it's not just hands off. You can't just give clients the tool and expect them to just use it. You need to provide consulting services. So if you find yourself in this position, then you need to realize that you need to build out a consulting function. But if you want to really build a SaaS product which is hands off, then you really need to make sure that what you are building and what you need access to, the data that you need access to, the systems that you need access to, are easily repeatable. So you build once and then it just repeats across multiple clients. So when I speak to these founders who start talking about that they have to do ad hoc queries or ad hoc development, I sort of say, look, if there's enough of a similar ad hoc request from clients, so for example, let's say you went to 10 clients and they all wanted the same ad hoc request, then you could build that as a product feature. But if you went to 10 clients and they wanted 10 different things, then you can't really build everything as a product feature. So what you might be able to do is build additional product features to your product if enough people want it. But if everybody wants different things because it's unique to their business, then you don't really have a SaaS product, you have a service. So you don't really have a SaaS product, you actually have a service-based business, which is nothing wrong with that, but you just need to acknowledge that with a service-based business, you need to grow a team in order to meet the demands of more and more clients. If you're a founder and you want to create a data product, then this is my advice. If it's going to be a SaaS product, it has to be repeatable and scalable. If there's some element of service involved, think about adding consulting services and plan that into your business model, that you will need to grow a bigger team that will provide the analytics consulting on top of the product. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it and look forward to my next one.